iTiS Well of Worship Fellowship. Today is July, not July. Today is April 11th, 2024. About 6:15 p.m. East African time. We do this every Thursday between 6 and 8 p.m. Yeah, by this I mean the weekly catch-up. Weekly catch-up meaning just top stories of the week. What's making headlines, what's cooking, Yeah, and that's what we're going to do today. Of course, one of the stories making headlines is the traders closing their shops in protest against URA. They have a number of grievances. They say they are being overtaxed, sometimes double taxed. They say URA guys are so rough on them, and so on and so forth. IFRIS is new, the technology is new, they need to be patient. And also they're saying they don't have money to invest in this equipment they need for IFRIS. Should only remain for big manufacturers and factories, and big companies. That's what they're saying. Do they have a point? That's what you're going to discuss today. Yeah, besides that, on Sunday, there was the Kabaka birthday run, which was attended by, at least going by the number of kits that were bought, 120,000 kits were bought. I don't know if everybody showed up to run, but at least the money was received. That means they got slightly above 2.4 billion shillings, which I think was remarkable. And of course, it's going towards HIV/AIDS. So that was a good thing. Okay. Besides that, of course, we had Besigye. Besigye resumed his campaigns, not campaigns as such, sensitization tours around the country. Last week he was in the West. I think he started with his home area of Rukungiri, then he crossed over to Barara, Bushenyi, and all those other places. So is Besigye reinventing himself? Is he coming back? He famously said, he's right now he's 68 years old. He said Ugandans should give me the gift of removing Museveni by the time I'm 70 years. What's going to happen in the next 2 years? He doesn't believe in elections. Is he going to do a coup? Or is he trusting Ugandans to go to the streets and protest against the government? So that's basically, and then of course, ANT, Alliance for National Transformation, is also doing countrywide tours. Mugisha Muntu is in Fort Porto, at least that area. He's also going around the country, trying to mobilize, and sensitize people. So have we officially started campaigns? Okay. That's what we're going to talk about. What does that mean? Does that mean the opposition has given up on Bobby Wine as the sole savior, if I may use the word? Are they now going back to basics? Basically saying I'm coming back, or at least I'm going to become politically active again, and so on and so forth. And then in our social topic, we'll discuss the artists. This topic is like 2 weeks old. I just kept it. But under the copyright law, when these artists went to parliament to demand for payment for their works and things like that, one of the things they demanded was 90% of all content played on our media should be local. That means music, especially, and movies and things like that. Is that fair in a competitive market? Yeah. In a marketplace where quality, where people have a right to choose what they want to listen to. Do you really want them to dictate that you should listen to 90% of their music, even if it is garbage? I mean, should you listen to Ugandan music just because it's Ugandan music, or does good music always find a way to reach the market? We used to, those of us who are old enough, we used to listen to Congolese music. I don't think the Congolese dictated that, that we should listen to their music. And then at some point, I think right now Nigerians are hitting in Africa. Nigerian music, I think, is on top. So good music will always find a market or a place. We shall discuss that. Or should we protect our industry and say, no, locally here, 90% of music should be local. So that will be our social topic. But first, Petro, let me start with you and And the traders, first of all, do you think the traders have a point? What are their issues? Maybe let us start there. What are the traders' issues, and do they really have a point?
No, they don't. And I think last week, me, I'm on the side of government. These guys are just now the traders in Chukubo are not educated people. Some of them, okay, if they're educated, they're not educated in tax things. What they're against is the IFRIS, the system that was introduced by URA that tracks people's revenue and expenditure, and the tax that URA and government is trying to track is VAT, which is the tax that is supposed to be paid by the final consumer. Maybe for the benefit of this group, if you buy a bar of soap, you're paying 18% on that bar of soap. But this 18% is transferred from Mukwano, passed over to the distributor, then passed over to the supermarket, let's say Capital Shoppers, and then finally you're the one who is supposed to pay it. So ideally, how VAT is structured is that Mukwano charges, let's say, who is a distributor here? Okay, let's say Edson Distributors. Then Edson Distributors charges the 18% on the supermarket, and then the supermarket passes over the 18% to you who is going to use the soap. So what has been happening for so many years is that these traders have been cheating the VAT. They charge the output VAT. They show that they have charged the VAT from the next person in the chain, but they don't remit the VAT to what? They don't remit the VAT to URA, because every month you're supposed to net off the VAT from your sales and the VAT from your purchases, and then that net VAT is supposed to be paid to URA. But traders have not been doing that. So what URA did, they introduced a system to track the sales and the purchases of these traders, and the main entry points for trade in Uganda is import, the people that are importing from the import, and then also the manufacturers. So what URA did is they ensure that every importer is supposed to be on VAT. Then every manufacturer is supposed to also be using IFRIS. So meaning that with time, they are going to be tracing each good that enters or each good that is being used in Uganda, because those are the two main sources. You either import or we manufacture from here. Now, what these traders are doing is because they have closed the leakage where they have been cheating taxes from. That's why they are fighting. And some of them are even fighting ignorantly, because they even don't know what they are fighting against. VAT is not your tax. You're collecting this VAT on behalf of URA. In fact, the person who is supposed to be fighting against IFRIS is the final consumer, because you're the person who is paying the VAT. Now, because these guys have been collecting cash flows on behalf of URA, but have not been remitting it. So the assumption is this is their money, is why they are fighting. So what they are doing is very wrong, and on this URA probably is going to win, because if we can get rid of these unorganized traders, or if they want to continue business, they start hiring us as accountants to be doing this work for them. But whatever they're fighting for is they're just writing on water. And IFRIS is here to stay. They will have to be paying these taxes.
Okay, of course, some of them are not VAT registered, even though they are dealing in vatable goods, if I may use that word. So, of course, they've been collecting the VAT and eating it, like you've said. Either out of ignorance or or intentionally, I don't know. So now, their complaint is, if we are to include VAT in all our invoices, the prices are going to go up. We are going to lose customers. Is that a valid point? If you start adding 18% to everything they are doing,
and you see, Jet, the VAT Act says, like you've said, that they're dealing in invertible items. Actually, the VAT Act says if you're making sales of more than 150 million in a year, annual sales, if your annual sales are 150 million in a year, it means that you are supposed to be registered on VAT. Also, if you make sales of 37.5 million in a quarter, you're also supposed to be VAT registered. Now, what these guys are doing, the people in Chikuwa, because most of them are in informal trade, the only people that register for VAT are those that are distributors, probably that are dealing directly with Mukwano or Bidiko or Kakira. Those are the guys that have been registered with VAT. So whoever is saying that is not supposed to be registered as VAT, let him produce his books and we see how much is he making in a year. And if he says that I'm not making this, then it's okay. Go on IFRIS. The system is going to track your sales. If you cannot reach the threshold of 150 million, then that means that it's okay. You're not supposed to be on IFRIS, and that person is going to be removed. Number two, these traders have been dodging income tax. Remember, income tax is it's dependent on the sales that you make. So because the trade is informal, you write receipts. Sometimes you can decide not to issue receipts. Then URA loses tax because you're under declaring your income. So with this IFRIS, right now, the traders have been put in a corner. That's why URA will be able to trace how much these traders are making. If you guys remember, before introduction of IFRIS, if someone here was a good customer of Capital Shoppers used to give cards, and they used to give customer loyalty points. So if you shop, they will give you points. Now, Capital Shoppers would pay taxes. They would go and under declare their revenue, but then also declare that they have given discount, because these discounts, these points they give, they are an expense to them. So when they introduced IFRIS, they had to remove those cards because they were looking for another way of how they are going to cheat on the revenue. So really, I don't have any kind words for what, for these guys here. They are supposed to pay, and I wish I was Gobi or the president. Whoever doesn't want to pay, let him leave Chikubo. People who are able to pay are going to stay there and they will continue trading.
Huh? It's on Gamri Bakambwe Banang. Bob, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, maybe Bob cannot talk.
But
You can talk, eh?
But then you can mute, go and unmute quickly. Yeah, I think.
But
I think. I mean, Pedison has clarified on it. But my submission here is into government. I don't know whether into Bugwizi is that. I mean, I'm sure the way he explains it is a double-edged sword. Okay, for the government to first of all catch these guys who are who are not truthful, but also in a side on the government, whereby I don't know how it works well as because I'm not a trader there and the system is different, but I believe it's in good faith for the government and the traders also because there the mulimu gaps, both sides mulimu gaps. One is that I think people wouldn't have a problem okubajjako emisolo, whichever misolo you're talking about, but the accountability, the accountability. You're taking all this money, but look, how are we benefiting from you taking off this money? mwenhanses mutya businesses affe in return. If there's nothing to show, abantu bajja grupolinga to pay tax. I'm telling you, here tax payment is, everyone is aware about it, but they see where the money is going. They see the services that are being provided. So no one will complain to you that, oh, omusolo. You know, so that's one thing. The other thing is awareness. These people, were these casita or whatever traders, informed and explained? Kubanga back about maybe they were rioting or striking for something they even did not understand. Was awareness made to them and what this means? Thirdly, government, yes, I mean, there's payee, there's VAT. I mean, person you get all that amounts, and I'm like an ordinary person. Afune mitwala asatu oba no whatever, a teacher in a private school or whatever. But government yemujako payee, you know. I don't know how those traders, how they're able to, how the government, maybe it needs to just think of a better way on how they can know the exact sales that these business people make, on how to curb those unreceipted sales and all that, on how, maybe a better way of finding out how they can collect money from everyone, because I know literally there are farmers who are not paying tax. There are people outside Kampala, they make big sales and they never collect, the government never collects tax from them. So, and anyway, for me, bottom line, if the government can collect tax and bring services to people, I believe people will have a buy-in, you know? Nino ita muchikubo, nga, you know, there's no system. Kwegamba toilet mu kibuga abantu ne bajja mu kibuga tebalina we bafuka era n'agamba sijja kugenda guleyo kangende ngule. So I mean, I'm trying to think, how does government bring value for what they are collecting, such that people do not have to grip or to complain when the tax is being collected. Kati oyogedde ku the 2.5 billion, for example, collecting idwa mu Kabaka's rand, you know, but are we sure that money is actually going for that cause, or it's going to end up in someone's pocket? So for me, the issue of accountability is very important when the government or any other body is trying to lobby for more collection and more transparent ways. Thank you.
Okay, Bob. Bob, we see much accountability. But we've always argued on this forum, at least, that two wrongs don't make a right. If government is misusing your money, you should not also become a thief and not pay the money. But I guess we can have that discussion as well.
Chairman, ekintu kya Bob njagala kigaziya, but before nga sinaba kigaziya, njagadde nsooke kwogere ku babba omusolo. Government URA erina otuwa ripooti ku baani ababba omusolo. Kuba mu gavumenti eno
abatasasula musolo oba ababba ze tumaze okusolooza.
abatasasula misolo. Kubanga ababba ze tumaze okusolooza baba tebabbye musolo, baba babbye ssente za gavumenti, naye twogera ku batasasula musolo. URA etubuulire baani abasasula omusolo, etuteerengamu ripooti ezo mu mawulire, nga ripooti ezo teziri biased. Ekyo ffe kye tusaba, kubanga kati abasuubuzi ab'amaduuka mubalabye muno baadde babba omusolo, otyo muzibikiddewo. Tewali balala babba musolo mu ggwanga lino.
Abo tugenda bakimako.
Kubanga kye twagala okutegeera obulungi, kubanga ababba omusolo bagubba mu structure. Bob kyabadde agamba, kuba Bob ye ensonga yoyinza okuba ogitegeddde nti mu ddwaliro temuli malagala, bino eby'abapolitician babeera bagamba nti n'enguudo si nkole. Ekyo tukiveeko. URA nga tennaba kujja, Ministry of Trade CSC erina okusooka. Twagala gavumenti etubuulire nti Ministry of Trade bw'ebanga ddala yevunaanyizibwa ku by'okusuubula n'ebiki byonna, eteeseteese bulungi abasuubuzi. n'obusuubuzi mu ggwanga eryoke ebuggyeko omusolo. Bw'eba eteeseteese ezo sisitimu ziri luddawa? Sisitimu eyamba omusuubuzi munnansi ng'emutaasa ku Muchina amusuubuze China n'amusuubuza mu Uganda Omuchina y'omu omusuubuzi ng'ate era y'omu y'atunda ebyaba asuubudde.
Ate ye n'afuna tax holiday.
Ate ye ng'afunye tax holiday. URA kwegamba etubuulire baani abasasula omusolo, baani abatagusasula, era lwaki abatagusasula tebagusasula. Kati baani ababba omusolo era bagubba bati obubbi bw'emisolo buli bwa mirundi emeka? Kuba ye Pedson wabadde ayogera ng'omukugu agambye nti ekitawaanya abasuubuzi ignorance na butasoma. Naye n'omuntu ataasoma asobola okuwulira nti kino kiruma. N'omuntu ataasoma asobola okutegeera nti zino ssente zange bazitutte tebandizitutte. Kwegamba abasuubuzi badde batwala VAT mungi nnyo okusinga tax holidays abantu ze balina. Abayindi, Abachina n'Abachina abaddugavu balina tax holidays wano mu Uganda.
Ezo nsonga ndala ate zimuleeta.
Ate ensonga ndala etya musolo. Chairman musolo gwe tuliko baani abatagusasula era lwaki URA eraba ng'emisolo mingi gigenda? Baani betuteekwa okulumba? Ani agwanira tax holiday era lwaki? Ani asuubula wa? Ani asuubula, ani asuubuza? Government mwagisetinga nga buli muntu alina kweyiiya, tewaliwo systems zikola, buli muntu alina kweyiiya. Abadde beeyiiza ku VAT kakati kali mu bakabinze, kakati ate abeeyiiza mu tax holiday. Ba investor bayita ba pineti. Abo bo tuboogereko ki? Kuba eggwanga liri mu kulwana ne unemployment lwana lyo. Abantu batandise okweyiiya, mubalumbyeyo gye beeyiiya. Government erina capitalism atali capped, atali customized ku ggwanga. Nti capitalism wa Uganda afaana bwati. Owa Uganda ali open. Amaduuka bannannyini bizimbe basolooza mu ddoola. Ekyo ministry tekirinaako kigambo. Kakati era omukugu akugambye wano Pedson nti bano basuubuzi beekalakasa bwereere. Oli agenda okugula ebintu byabwe gwe kigenda okulya bo bafa ki? Olulimi oluwulidde olw'abakugu. Kakati eyo arrogance y'abantu abatufuga nga esibukira ddala mu butamanya ffenna kijja kutulya omulundi gumu eventually. Tewaliiwo ngeri bantu gye bagenda kubeera basanyufu kusasula misolo nga abamu baana abalala byana. URA tubuulire baani abasasula omusolo, baani abatasasula musolo mu mazima ne mu bwenkanya etubuulire. Nze ye ndowooza yange chairman, so bino ebirala bya accountability teri ddwagala mu malwaliro ebyo gavumenti yabiddamu dda emulago waliyo eddagala babbalibbe. Enguudo si nkole olimba mu Uganda, enguudo nkole. Enguudo ezitali nkole zoononesemu eno si zonna olw'amazzi era ze zino eziri mu bibuga. Mu Uganda enguudo nkole. Kati ekyo ekiwaani kya infrastructure ne ssente ezivudde mu mabanka g'abazungu kyo tukireke tudde wano ku ground kaakati. Emisolo egisasulwa mu Uganda giri feya kyekisookerwako. Emmotoka omuntu gy'asuubula miliyoni 12 esasula omusolo gwa miliyoni 14. Abasuubuzi kye bagamba ebintu ebiri mu tteeka nga si byakusolooza ng'ebyobulimi babisolooza ate nga biri mu tteeka si byakusolooza ebyobulimi babisolooza era URA basajja baayo bakwata abantu. Kakati omusajja omukugu abadde mutuufu ga nti ekitawaanya abasuubuzi butasoma. Kati ataasoma Mwe abakulembeze baabalonda kubanga mwe mwasoma, muyambe abataasoma, ate mucunya bacunye. Bwe beekalakaasa nga banyigiriziddwa nga mugamba temwasoma obutasoma bwe batawaanya. Ekyo nkiwulidde. Ekyo nkiwulidde ng'omu ku bataasoma. Kiri very clear. Kati mutuwe ensonga lwaki tulonda abaasoma. Kuba twalowooza nti mwe mwasoma mugenda kuyamba ffe abataasoma. Ate kakati mutunyigiriza bwe tukaaba ne mugamba okaaba lwa butasoma, kankunnyonnyola ekintu kino. Ekintu ky'onnyonnyola practically ku ground tekiriiyo. Tewaliiwo ngeri muntu gy'asobola kusuubula motoka miliyoni 12 ne mugijjako omusolo gwa miliyoni 14 agitunda emmeka.
Anti era nga bwakugambye nti in the end akugamba nti tebacomplaininga kubanga kigenda kuddira last consumer abayaayi.
Kati ekyo nze nga wagira Museveni kati obululu mbunoonye nti obuwagira kitange Museveni. Ng'omuntu takyasobola kugula sabbuuni.
Tawatuviire twamukoowakowa dda.
Kale neeyanze moderator kale era mumugobye mubba bantu. Mutumale bagamba tebaasoma obutasobola obutawaanyi.
Ama Peterson omukugu waali wano lwaki tukayala. Peterson, first respond to Isaiah.
Okay. I'm going to start. I'll give an illustration. Maybe you guys can understand that. Now, you see the time when I was a treasurer for iTiS. iTiS didn't have a bank account, so people would send money, and I would keep the money with my money. Now, for example, if Bob has sent his money on my phone, and I don't have money, I would use that money for Bob. But knowing that at the end of I would keep the records, knowing that when that money is needed, it has to be available. But you see what happens is that sometimes you can get used and you think this is your money. So these businesses are cash businesses, and some of them even don't even have records. They don't do anything. So they get money which is not their money, which is supposed to be a tax. That is the value added tax, the one that is that is causing them to make noise, because these are daily turnover businesses where you find the business is turning over every day. So by the time the month ends and he computes and he finds out that actually there is 30 million that is not his, which is supposed to pay to URA, it is going to be very hurtful for that person to pay the money, because the whole month he has been having this money. It has become as if the money is his, even if it is you, and they ask you that now you're supposed to pay 30 million. No one wants to pay that money. So there's that problem that we have, and that's why you see us saying people have to be sensitized and educated that VAT is not
ogwo mulimu gwammwe abakulembeze Peterson temugukoze.
Kakati, this is where I'm going to come, and I'm going to give a basic illustration on this. Nze Oraba, I studied PCM economics. I was even supposed to go and study engineering. The reason why I studied BCom was because of these issues that I'm discussing here. URA has a very big problem where they always go for the soft spots. That's why you see not everyone is paying taxes, but whoever is paying taxes has to pay for the other people that are not paying taxes. So it so happened that in Kahoe, we are very few people that were paying taxes, and URA disturbed my father so much. And he decided that, you know what, go and study BCom. So that at least maybe you come and help me in what? In these taxes against these people, because really they are disturbing me. Now, there are so many accountants who are even willing to give these services at no cost. But the people in Chuku will not employ them because they are stingy. For them, they will be like, these ones here, there is no need for an accountant. And when I talk about the ignorance of those people, I say it because these guys are mean with their money. They don't want to employ accountants or even consultants to do these things for them. they think that they can go and
Edson, I'm sorry to interrupt. If leaders turned it into a law that for you to start a business of this size and this size, and if you're making such and such this money, your books must reflect an accountant, and it becomes a law. Most of these traders will have those accountants because you know how we have forced on them license. No trader wants to pay license, but it is a law.
It is the
problem of leadership.
I share this thing with you. I'm going to share this same picture with you. There's even a law that if you're above a turnover of 500 million, your books are supposed to be your accounts are supposed to be done by a member of CPA. This thing is there in the Accountants Act.
But it is not enforced. They are
doing
their own accounting.
Isaiah, even the basic thing of IFRIS, they have closed they have closed Chkubo. Then now you want to enforce them the law. The thing is there. I'm going to share this. I'm going to check my phone. I should be having that picture. I'm going to share it before we finish. So the blame should not be on the government because they have done.
So what about the tax holidays preferences?
Now those ones, I was going to come on that one, but I wanted to first finish the thing of ignorance. Me, I've told you, they had to change my career, so that I can go and start a big home because URA was becoming a problem. We're only two people that were paying URA in Kabwe, us and some guy who owned the hardware. Now, if you go to Chkubo, me, I've ever tried this thing in 2013. When I was in New Vision, these things, you go to Chkubo and you tell them, hey, I can do taxes for you, but who wants to give you business? They will be like, it's okay, we're going to handle this with URA. Because most of them want to go and bribe URA, and then, but of course, things have now changed. URA is not bribeable. So the thing about ignorance, as you're saying, the blame is on these guys here. They are supposed to go and look for accountancy.
URA is not bribeable.
Yes, it's not supposed to blame. It's the business owner. You're supposed to go and sort out yourself. And people are there, these experts are there for taxes. But these Kuba people, no one is willing to pay because they think that this of paying to a consultant is useless and it's an expenditure that I should not incur. So what do? Is that they have to go and riot and close the streets. But anyway, that one aside. Now, the thing about the tax holidays and who pays the taxes. Now, what you're asking for might be too much because in Uganda, right now we have about 2 million. We have about 2 million taxpayers. So publishing who is paying taxes may not be feasible. But whoever is paying taxes, there's an account. If you have your TIN, there's an account of who is paying taxes. And I can tell you, the people who need this information, the people at Ministry of Finance, the people at URA, plus even the ministers whose information is relevant to, they can access this information, then they know who is paying taxes and who is not paying taxes. In fact, URA publishes a report, but then this report is summarized. They can say, we have collected 25 trillion, and this 25 trillion, we have managed to get this money from imports, and they can even show you that the money from imports is from these imports. Then they can show you that we have collected maybe 13 trillion from domestic taxes. From domestic taxes, 13 trillion, 5 is coming from payee, 13 is coming from VAT. All those things, and maybe whatever is coming from income tax, all these things are there. Even if you go to the website of URA, those reports are there. But those reports, you may not go there. Not an ordinary person may go there and read them. Maybe people who are in that profession, who are interested, because you find a report which is like 80 pages detailing all those things. Who is going to settle down and read and understand them? So the publishing in the newspapers may not be feasible, but URA publishes their reports on their website. And even if you have internet right now, go to URA and download those reports that are there. You will see how much we are collecting from which revenue source, but they may not tell you that Isaiah paid this. They may not tell you that Jethro paid this, but at least they will tell you that for payee, we go to this. Now, if you want to substantiate,
But
then
you know
now
that
you
there are
can
many,
go.
but at least you know that there are many big shots who are tax defaulters, and government is not actually minding that. But
And
when
that you see,
when the muntu wa wansi defaults only a single thing, then they come after them.
and of course, now you see what you're saying, Isaiah. We may not conclusively say that what you're saying is true or it's not false. So it's true or it is false. The information that we get from URA is at that level. They can only tell you that we have gotten 11 trillion from income tax. Now, who paid that income tax? If it's MTN, Stanbic, or whatever, that's why you stop. About the tax holidays, the law is very clear. The minister can give a tax holiday, and these are always given by Minister of Finance. So whatever protocol that they use, the Minister of Finance presents to Parliament, and Parliament approves. Now, whom they give and whom they don't give, that one, if they give A and they don't give B, B is going to complain. If they give B and they don't give C, C is going to complain. That's how we are as human beings. So the question, maybe when we discuss again, we'll discuss what is the Parliament was trying to do a report on these tax holidays. So maybe we can look at that report and see the financial analysis they have done, if they are worth it or if they're not, then we can take it over from there. But for now, we may not discuss much. Jess, I've finished.
In fact, the other thing I could probably add, I think in light of IFRIS, because in my opinion, IFRIS is not going away anytime soon. It could be unfair, it could be ahead of its time in an informal economy like ours, but I think government is determined to collect every little shilling from whatever Muntu they can squeeze. So if this is here, VAT is going to be collected or demanded. I think the businessmen just need to, like you said, Petro, they just need to get either tax advisors or tax consultants to help them navigate these issues. Otherwise, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, and by the way, you guys who pay, you know the amount of money that you pay every month, eh? But no one has ever gone to the streets to complain. Remember, you're paying that pay, and on top of that, you're paying these indirect taxes, the ones that these Kubo guys are complaining about. But do you know you can find a guy in Chikubo who is returning maybe 100 million per day in sales. But you who is earning little money in your small job, you're paying more taxes than this guy in Chikubo. Because this guy in Chikubo has been hiding the taxes, yet he's making more income than you.
Anyway,
I think I'm done.
Let's watch the space, but as far as I am concerned, I think URA is not going to back down. Government needs money. Elections are coming up in a couple of years' time. And of course, it's always the Mundwawansi who suffers in all these matters. You pay your money and those guys enjoy it. Unfortunately, that's how it is in our banana republic. Yeah, time has really rushed. Can we go briefly to, unless someone wants to have the last word on this, on the taxation issue? Okay, nobody. Let's go to, in my intro, I said Besigye has been going around the country, sort of reinventing himself, if I may say.
Hello.
Yes, Bob.
I was just making a comment that okwekalakasa kukola. Everything the government understands kwekalakasa. I think Museveni is meeting them over when and all this. So in Uganda, whatever.
If you check Twitter, there's no such meeting planned. It had been rumored to be for today. There's no such meeting. Anyway, maybe he'll meet them. You know, Museveni wants to vote. So
walabya already top ze bayiye.
They are demonstrating, but they are demonstrating on a non-issue. There's nothing that you are really. It's like what the URA is doing is these guys are supposed to pay taxes. So now whatever they are demonstrating, now they are bringing this. They are bringing these issues as I was saying. Simanyi tax holidays. Simanyi what? Simanyi what are you now, like what Bobbio is saying? What are you using the money for?
Anyway, thankfully these topics keep coming back. So one of these Thursdays we'll go back to taxation. But for now, it is what it is, like I've said. I don't think the Basubuzi are going to win this one. Yeah. Let's go to Besigye. Besigye has been going around the country. Last week he was, I think, in Rukunjiri, then he crossed to Bushenyi, and he's telling Ugandans, give me a 70th birthday gift of removing Museveni. He's 68 years now. So that's 2 more years. He says, I don't believe in elections. So, yeah, just remove him before 2026, and so on and so forth. Similarly, I've seen ANT, that is Mugisha Muntu's party, they've also started with Fort Portal this week, I think today, or was it Tuesday? What is happening to these guys? Is it a vote of no confidence in NUP that they're trying to revive their own parties? Because Besigye has been lying low for a while. But it seems like when those fights with FDC, Najana Nkombi faction started, it seemed like they wanted to make a comeback. And those guys resisted. That's why he ran to Katonga and started conducting business there. What do you think? Let me start with you this time. Besigye akomawo. Bw'aba believing mu elections ate ng'agenda around ng'agamba abantu tujjeko Museveni aba agamba ki exactly?
Ekisooka twagala okwebaza Besigye kubanga abadde consistent nti akalulu tekasobola kujjako President Museveni. Naye n'ekirala njagala Besigye tumutegeere bulungi, nze siri muwagizi we mummanyi. Naye njagala newankubadde omuntu simuwagira mba njagala tumutegeere bulungi. Besigye yagamba nti akalulu nga bwe kategekebwa mu Uganda tekasobola kujjako Museveni. Era Besigye yatandika ebintu by'abakiggundu. Ndowooza Besigye yeesimbawo nga Kiggundu ye mukama w'akalulu. Is that so? Besigye yatandika eŋŋombo ya Kiggundu. Kati okuva olwo najja ng'abagamba nti akalulu nga bwe kategekebwa mu Uganda tekali free and fair. Era olumu yagendako ne mu kkooti n'awangula omusango ogw'okuba ng'akalulu tekabadde free and fair. Naye abalamuzi ne bagamba nti ebyabaddemu ebirumira tebisazaamu buwanguzi bw'oyo yawangudde. Kakati ndowooza nti Besigye y'omu ku bantu abadde consistent. At least ku nsonga eyo ebirala sigenda kukiikirira Besigye. Nze ndi muwagizi wa Museveni. So ndowooza ku ekyo Besigye yejjeeredde. Akalulu tekasobola. Okusooka ng'oggyeko ensonga ya Besigye gy'awa. Nze emabega eri nayina ensonga yange nga mbagamba n'obagamba nti President Museveni akyali muganzi mu bannayuganda. Ekyokubiri aluddewo nnyo gw'okuva eri n'omuwangula buwanguzi, asimbye nnyo amakanda, alina structures nnene, alina n'obuyinza bungi. N'olwekyo eryemu ku factor ndowooza lwaki n'okuwangula tawangulwa bw'atyo. Alina n'ebikozesebwa bingi okusinga abo baavuganya nabo. Alina n'amagezi mangi. Ndowooza kino kyo kitundu
n'amagye
ebikozesebwa kubanga amagye tegajja mu kalulu kuba bantu, ekyo at least tukirabye. Tuleme kuwaayiriza amagye tegajjaako mu kalulu.
Gajja kukola ki?
Gajja kukuuma butebenkevu. So ekyo kitegeereke bulungi. Kakati kubanga bwe mwogera amagye mubanga abagamba nti galinga ga mulembe gw'Obote n'omulembe gwa Amin. Si bwe gali, we all know that. Era bannayuganda 10 bw'oteeka ali owa poliisi n'oteeka ali ow'amagye, bannayuganda 7 bagenda ku mulayini y'ow'amagye. nolwekyo temugaleetanga twogere ku factors eziriwo ezaddala. So kweyo nsonga Mr. Chairman, Besigye abadde consistent. Ekyo kimu. Ekyokubiri, Besigye abadde consistent nti bw'obanga gwe opposition leader omulimu gwo tegukoma ng'akalulu kawedde. In fact omulimu gwo gutandika akalulu kawedde. Okusigala buli kaseera ng'ojjukiza bannayuganda nti omusajja aliko President Museveni tetumwagala nakyemalira atufuze bubi. Toteekwa kuzikiza kasita bamala okulayira. In fact mu kulayira kwennyini gw'oteekwa okubeera ku luguudo. Ng'oli bamulayiza gw'oteekwa okubeera ku luguudo. Ng'olaga obutali bumativu, ng'olaga okunyirigizibwa kwa bannayuganda. Besigye yali consistent n'aleeta ebintuntu mu kubaka sepiki, mufuwe ng'ombe, w'okutuwaaka n'ebirala ndowooza musobola okubinzijukiza. Omulembe gwa Besigye bye gwaleeta.
Nakamande.
Buli kaseera aleetanga ebintu, najja nankumbi n'efuuka najja nankumbi. Waakiri ne bwewanga talina leero kyaleeta n'ateekayo okusaba najja nankumbi. N'aleetayo omubuulizi, n'ayogera n'avuma gavumenti. Waakiri bwewanga talina n'atambula okuva e Kasangati. Buli kaseera bannayuganda abajjukizenga nti omusajja atufuga tateekwa kutufuga. Kakati mwami Besigye mu ngeri y'emu akomyewo okutugamba tuli ffenna nti newankubadde mwamugamba nti awummule, mwawanika akapande aka substitute, omuntu gwe mwaleeta takoze mulimu gw'opposition tagukoze. Ekyo Besigye kyatugamba. Mweyo ensonga ngamba nti era ali consistent. Siri muwagizi wa Besigye, mwenna mummanyi. N'olwekyo chairman, tewaliwo kigaana Besigye kudda nga bye yayogera byonna bituukiridde. Kubanga Abaganda abakkiriza mu myoyo giri emirala bagamba nti leka emmandwa etuule nga kye yalagula kikoze eki kituukiridde. Buli kintu kyonna Besigye kye yagamba kituukiridde. Ba Bob ne bampanga taliiwo wano, ne ba Tom alternative opposition gye baleeta for Besigye tekoze byeteekwa kukola nga opposition. The government has been comfortable. Besigye kyakomyewo okugamba bannayuganda nti government eno eri comfortable, omulimu gwaffe kugifuula ne comfortable. Abantu kakati balabidde ddala nga opposition is a joke for the first time. Abakulu bano baatuwa leader of opposition ng'omulaba ali diplomatic ne bamugjawo, they brought another joke. Abakulu bano bagenda mu parliament because they are a joke. Abakulu bano bagenda mu parliament ne balinnya ku mmeeza ne basambasamba obuzindaalo. Ekyo Besigye teyakikola kubanga yali ayawula street ne parliament. So nga ate Besigye yasinze okutulugunyizibwa, yasinze okusibibwa mu Uganda wano. Naye abakulu bano ndowooza tubajjukira ku Lwakavumo lwe babakuba emiggo ne bagenda mu Amerika ne babakolako sajjale ng'okugulu kwamenyeka naye nga bambadde Timbaland ya kiro 8 mu kukugulu okwamenyeka. These people have been a joke. Besigye akomewo. Ndi muwagizi wa Museveni. Besigye akomewo tutereze eggwanga ne yazza modolere.
Kinkoze bubi mpanga ne Tom tebaliwo. Bob wali Bob. I think Isaiah's points are fair. In the last 3 years, for 2021, opposition tetugifiirinze okujjako ku social media. Okuvuma ko batuvumye ku social media.
Babayita bawaakalya.
Okuvuma ko bakoze mulabe mufumbira agenda kati avuma buli kintu kyasanze. Bob gyali kinkoze bubi Bob tasobola kwogera. Okay, Bob, can you talk?
Yeah, so I think
That is a joke. Opposition, that is the.
Hello. Hello?
Nsebo
Opposition is a
tukuwulira ssebo.
opposition is a joke. Naye simanyi Isaiah bw'agamba nti Besigye gwe basinze okusiba and all that. N'atatunulira nti waliwo abaana abali mu kkomera for the last 4 years nga babalanga political for political reasons. Kati simanyi oba bo abalowoozaako ki bw'aba alowooza nti Besigye ge asinze okusibibwa, then ekyo nakyo akitunulemu kubanga tulina people who are up to today relinquishing in prisons, others were killed, unknown places and all these things, and the current opposition leader has been drumming this left, right, and center, that he even said, okay, if this is not working here, let me go ndabise omuyaayo no abweru eyo, at least bagira bamusalako funding kubanga sente ze bamuwa ate zaakozesa okututulugunya. So that is also true in that line. The issue is, as we know, the dictator as it is, ye nyini yatandise ng'agamba nti Museveni ayina amakanda, Museveni ayina ebikozesebwa bingi, so n'alyoka agamba simanyi ate amagye tegaliimu, simanyi poliisi teriimu, simanyi biki, which is a complete lie, and he clearly knows it that we've seen lots of confessions from journals, from whoever nga bagamba anyone who is opposing Museveni, anyway, they are not willing to relinquish leadership to this bayaye and all that. Kugamba ame nga determining n'omuyaye n'atali muyaye oba anafuga n'atafuga. So that kind of army which is playing allegiance to one individual. We saw rounds of videos of people who were they generals in Somalia or something. I don't know whether you saw that video. Nga bali awo beswanta nga boogera bulungi plan ya MK, how the MK thing was hatched and where it's going. These are videos actually a long time ago. Nga bo chibagoba bachimanyi. So such an army or which is calling itself the UPDF nga already aligned in a direction. You can't say that anything you can do much to change. You can arrange all. That's why all the fronts is even with Besigye and everyone.
Bob, this is a rebel government. The government came from the army.
Yeah, so kati Isaiah kugamba
separate them.
Auntie nkugamba, but I'm just talking about what Isaiah wanted us to feel like, as if the army is not aligned to kubana mugambye nti nga muliko ne army nga kuliko n'abasirikale n'agamba abasirikale boss manyu ayina comments yakoze awo nenga yadalo alaga nti as if the army is not aligned in this thing. So
it's not your opponent's job to make your work easier.
Yeah,
with job that to beat your opponent in spite of all those factors.
Yes. Kakati, we welcome Besigye back if he's back. I don't know the plan.
Bob soko yanukule ekintu kya moderator tochidduka.
Agambye ki yinza okuba nti misses.
Bade manyi okiwulidde.
Sebo je tobaganda ogamba otya?
It is not your opponent's job to make your work easier.
Yes.
It is your job to beat your opponent in spite of the issues that kuterawo amakuli ga kusimbira. Kubanga tewagenda kubawo level.
Anti kakati URA ye comment je mbadde nzijako ne ngamba nti we welcome Besigye back if he thinks he has a better, if he thinks that the opposition was more stronger in his times, okay, whereby him as an individual bamusiba a few times in and out of whatever nga fe abana abafe bo babasibye 4 years, you know, nga bo babaleeta we babazaayo we babaleeta we batabajajinga we babaleeta we babazaayo. So ye bw'aba alowooza nti ayina, you know,
information yawo
everyone's effort in this struggle is welcome. I'm not among those who are saying that Besigye akomyewo ku scene oba takomyewo. He is welcome. In fact, twamwagala dda ajje ku scene aluddewo to some of us. So everyone's effort is welcome. Auntie is welcome. The auntie's method of doing what is everyone's effort. Bobi Wine's effort of fighting from US, from UK, from UAE is also welcome. In a rabadoba style, buli effort yeta kubanga this dictatorship sinyangu ya kujako in any of these conventional ways. We are going to have to use multiple ways to remove the dictatorship. But for me, it's all about reuniting. If Besigye wants to do something, Bobi Wine wants to do something, they all need to unite and do this. But the methods they may approach, but they need to be coherent. That is when no single individual will be able to remove him. The effort may bring better results. Kubanga in the past, individualism has failed.
So Bob, thank you. Isaiah, to respond to that issue of abana banumpu babasibe emyaka enakati kyogerako ki?
Anti chairman nze njagala kugamba nti ku TV okwo kwaliko bakaali kalango akamu nga kagamba enjovu ziryaki kati abaana ba Nuupu bwe baali bagoba Besigye bagamba mu Uganda esinga America. Bwe bati bwe bagamba bwe baali bali pulesinga Besigye ne Bobi Wine baga nti Uganda esinga America. Chairman, ensonga zino ziri bbiri zokka, bbiri oba ssatu. Ekisooka ekintu ekyo ekyogamba muno abaana ba Nuupu bali mu makomera emyaka 4. Njagala okutegeeza Bob n'abantu abalala abawagizi ba Nuupu nti waliwo abaana b'FDC be baasiba ku lwa Besigye emyaka 10 egiyise. Nuupu eteekwa okulekerawo okutulowoozesa nti eyina abasibe yeyokka eyina political prisoners gye bali. Waliwo abaana abaafa ku lwa Besigye ne famire zaabwe gye ziri. Era Besigye bw'anaaba akomye omujja kudda mu biwulire buto. N'olwekyo abantu be baasiba kinaaddenga nti Besigye yasinze okugenda mu makomera. Tetugeraageranya baana be basibye mu Nuupu n'abaana be basibye mu FDC. Tugeraageranya the leader of opposition. Besigye yava mu Uganda emirundi emeka, Kyagulanyi yakafuluma Uganda emirundi 12. Ennyonyi 12. Naye ne Besigye yalina abazungu naye abamuwa ssente. Naye yava mu Uganda emirundi emeka, ono tava ku nnyonyi. Nakati ayina ekivuga.
Maybe his approach is different.
Gwe Peterson oli mu kujerega bujerezi. Oli watuga muno alina okukola. Besigye yali talina mirimu. Yali talina kukola Besigye.
Anti ono mwamugano kole ebivulu Uganda kati alina obikolera bweru afune sente.
Ndowooza ne Besigye business ze baziggala n'afiirwa ne baganda be.
Petrol station zalinga zikola.
Ate petrol station ki? Ne batugaba kono tugaba muno gundi yali ekotolie molo yali yenga balimba yali propaganda waffe aba Museveni. Akatubuliriza 12 aliwo bweru ali ku nnyonyi oyo opposition leader bwe tuyina. Besigye yabeeranga mu makomera nga ali ku street bamukuba tear gas. Ono wammwe abeera wa? Bulino kapita ampita kwa bulungi nnyo ng'ali ku simu scrollinga bw'ata scrollinga ebivumo.
Anti abalabisa.
Scrollinga ebivumo.
Bwe munaamusi bajja balabisa kati mumutyo mukwatako.
Ekyo moderator kye kimu ekisooka. Ekyokubiri Besigye bwe baamala okumuwangula mu kalulu yagenda mu kkooti n'atwala omusango mu kkooti ng'alina n'obujulizi. Omukulu bwe baamuwangula mu kalulu ke bagamba muno baamubba. Tuli ffenna empapula zaabula zaatwala mu kkooti n'agamba mbibakwasizza. Bwe twali tukuba akalulu yatugamba mu binkwasi. Bwe twali tukogenda mu kkooti n'agamba mbizizza mu kkooti y'abantu.
Isaiah gwe nyine watugambye mbigeni Isaiah kino watugambye.
Omuntu atasobola kusustaininga musango mu kkooti nga gwa region emu yawangula region emu.
obujulizi yabuwaayo ne bamugamba naye tebusobodde kumala kutandinga kintu kati era ono era ayagala kyabayitamu era
abasajja tebampadde
omukulu wa Twitter
Naye, katuliziganye.
kano ka Peterson kasunga busunzi omukulu teyakuŋŋaanya bujulizi bugenda mu kkooti ng'awangudde region emu mu Uganda
waliko ku WhatsApp
yokka eyo n'emulema kale ne bw'obeera ku Twitter Ssentongo Spire akuŋŋaanya obujulizi ng'ali ku Twitter n'asetinga trend ne bw'obeera ku Twitter abututeere ku Twitter kale abwe bafuutu soja babututeereyo omusajja yali mu kuŋŋaanya obujulizi obututwala mu kkooti nga Besigye bwe yakola bannange nze ndi muwagizi wa Museveni mummanyi ono omuvubuka kiwaani ng'oluyimba lwe ekyo ne kimulema kyakubiri Besigye mu bbanga lye yamala nga opposition leader teyali loko championi yatambula Uganda yonna ono loko champion ne lokalite yennyini yatandise okugifuuyira Buganda wabaddera champion nawe wennyini yatandise okuwoonoona yaleeta b'empi 50 nga kuliko abasobola okwogera mu palamenti 3 nga nabo si babe kakati kimukinyonnyola mutya nammwe Besigye yaleeta 30 nga taliini power abeFDC nga kuliko aboogera 20 Bob tetuli mu muzannyo mulekera okuteeka eggwanga lino mu muzannyo tubeere serious nze kyembera nwane basumba bannange uno mukulembeze gwe tulina opposition alinga abasumba babalokole balina masses ye naye tebalina kye babagamba babaga bibigula Yesu mukabina Yesu leeta ensigo alo Yesu agenda kusalanga Ronaldo mwatuleetera basumba babalokole mu politics mwatuleetera bakakande babujingo bagundi bayiga abafa mwatuleetera ukyeba neyanziza
muleke nammwe Isaya leka nammwe muleke ebintu ebyo nammwe
Peterson yogera ku Besigye's comeback very briefly.
Mumwali tayiga yafa.
Because obi banga tuserete ku nsonga eno bidda kale gera maaso.
I'm just going to add on what Isaiah is saying. Besigye has been a special person in his opposition, and me, I'm going to just look back at the history. This guy joins the struggle, the NRA struggle, when he's a doctor with a job, but then he leaves his job and comes, which is unlike the other recruits that Museveni has. The guys that were close to him, these guys had been close to him probably. Some of them are even Wahima, some of them the Kategayas had studied with him. But this is a guy, an outsider who leaves his job, then come and joins this guy. Besigye is one of the initial people who are inside in the Katchup, who opposed against Museveni in the early 90s. After like 5 years, he saw the guy is like, I think there's a problem here. And he started opposing the guy right away from that time. Whereas all these guys, the Kategayas who had been with the Museveni from the 60s, who had even studied with him, had never learned his character. The guys like Mbabas who had been with him for a long time had never learned his character. But in a short time, he was with him. After them taking over power, he said, wait a minute, I think there's a problem here. And he started opposing Museveni way back then. So there's something special about Besigye has been really opposing. And if you're to ask me if Museveni has ever had genuine opposition, I think Besigye was really opposing. Museveni, not these GMOs like Isaiah was talking about. So GMOs, genetically modified opposition. So now, Besigye in 2001, he was not supposed to stand. I'm told that it was Kategaya who was supposed to stand. these guys had started seeing problems with Museveni, but then no one was bold to come up and say that I think we are having a challenge, because had those guys, remember what happened in 2004, had such opposition opposed him, and they had stayed consistent like how Besigye was, probably maybe by now Museveni would have been weak. So in 2001, they agree that Kategai is going to stand against him. Kategai or Vidansai, one of the two. But then they chicken out, because then Besigye says, okay, if you have chickened out, let me go and tackle the guy myself. And for now 23 years, the guy has been really, really a forefront in opposition. So he gave the position to our GMO, but then he's not taking it seriously. So he's back, because I think Besigye's mission is really to remove Museveni. So me, if he comes back right now, I would side with what Bob has said. If probably they could unite and get a united front. They tried it with Mbabazi, but they failed. So if they are that serious and they unite, then maybe there we can have some serious opposition, because Isaiah is saying yes, Museveni has the machinery and all that, but he's also getting weaker with each time that passes. He keeps getting weaker. My mom used to tell me that I only vote for the chairman and Museveni, but recently, because of actually even these tax issues, URA, in 2021, she didn't vote for Museveni. So with time, you can even see that diehards that have been with him, they start saying, but why should I vote? Because things are getting worse. So, of course, now he's weak, he's a bit vulnerable. And if opposition gets serious, but not with the way Bobi Wine is operating, if opposition can get serious, like the things Besigye was doing of walk to work, if they ever come back right now, and they are combined with this Bobi Wine, because that Bobi Wine is also not very serious. When the guy is very weak, that's when you can attack him. Yes.
Do you understand Luganda?
Yes, I do.
Let me put it in Luganda for all people to understand what we are saying. President Museveni kufuru. Eggalidde Besigye ne Bobi Wine wabweru. Besigye agamba tugikube ennyondo, tuyite bannayuganda ffenna tugikube ekufulu eno ejja kubaluka. Bobi Wine agamba nedda tuyite bannayuganda tugiwemule.
Tugivume
wakalya nnyoko, wakalya kino olinga eggundi, era emyaka gyonna 3 babadde bagiwemula. Besigye agamba bannayuganda mwenna, era nsaba Besigye kakomyewo bannayuganda tumuwe omukisa. Besigye yatugamba tuyimirire mu Kampala abantu akakadde kamu. Ye Besigye bagamba tetwagala bululu bwammwe bwa miliyoni 3 bwe mumpa, kubanga miliyoni 3 ziri constant okusinziira ku Electoral Commission eya Uganda, zibeera constant. Buli opposition leader afuna 3. Mwali mukyegendereza ekyo? Otyo kakati ezo pattern zokka zikulaga. Kati Besigye bagamba enteekateeka yako tesobola kujja. Besigye agamba mwenna bonna beeriti n'abatali beeriti tugende e Kampala tuyimirire abantu akadde kamu tugema Museveni vaako. Yikyagamba. Bobi Wine agamba nedda tukuŋŋaane ku social media tugambe kufulu wakalya nnyoko.
But if they combine what Besigye did in 2011 and even those Uganda riots of 2009, if those youth can be remobilized, but actually even you saw what happened in 2020.
Kitegeera ani yagambye nti Bobi Wine tayagala kukuŋŋaanya kakadde?
Akakadde ku social media akawemula akayagala era yakafuna.
Ekirala Bob, the guy is very busy. He's abroad. He's abroad. He's talking to the funders to stop funding.
The return teri mu Uganda, eri mu UK.
Okungunganya abantu 5 bayiwa military ku kitebe kya NUP gaya akomawo ku byebweru bamupandolinga
ebyo tebakulimbanga kasita musalawo banna Uganda. Basi amagye ga Uganda gali emitwalo 26 ekinene nnyo. Banna Uganda bali omukadde. Ebyo biveeko gye gundi. Ne Peterson kyoga muno they combine. Okuyunitinga buli omu abaako n'ekintu kyaleese. Ono yayagala kuleeta kuwemula. Nedda nze sikkanya na kwegatta. Njagala kwegatta na muntu alina kyaleeta. Bali mu kusindika emmotoka tuleetereko twegatte n'abagiwemula mutwale eri. Twetaaga okwegatta kafena tugenda kusindika. Naye bano abakulu bo bawemula buwemuzi. Besigye ali mukola the return mu Uganda. Kyagulanyi akoze the return mu UK. Chairman neyanziza.
Peter yabagala okuwemula ekufulu yeggule bamufumbire. Okay, tugenda ku social topic yaffe. Besigye tunamuddako next week. Peter ajala okutandika naawe. Etteeka lya copyrights bali mu kulibaga, bali receiving feedback from the public, ba artists bagenda luli mu parliament ne boogera ebikankanya ne bamitinga committee ya parliament ekola ku nsonga ezo. Naye ekimu ekyankwata attention yange kyali nti content yenna ali aired ku media yaffe mu Uganda 90% abeere local. Peter gyali naye bakola batya demand bwetyo. Free market economy ngeyaffe bwe tulowooza. Mu free market economy ngeya Uganda osobola okudictatinga nti 90% content abeere local ng'engeri y'okuzaamu industry yammwe. Music omulungi talina kwapiringa bwapirinza eri bantu nga bwe twawulizanga wano abakongo nga tetubamanyi na bamanya. Ennaku zino n'Abanigeria basiba wano bayoola ssente zaffe. Lwaki music w'Abannayuganda nabo tebakola music omulungi naye n'agenda mu katale bw'atyo. Awo njagala tutandikire.
Sabo simanyi neyanza nnyo Sabo neyanze. Simanyi oba waliwo abali wano abasobola okutuyigiriza. Number 1, copyright kye. Ekyo kimu. Kikozeeko wa gye kikoze. Kyakubiri. Gye kikoze waliwo enteekateeka y'emu n'enteekateeka eri wano abantu kubanga obuzibu bw'amateeka bwe mmaze okulaba. Obuzibu bw'amateeka buteekateeka enkola nga buteekerateekera enkola abatali bateeketeeke. Hello?
Wetuli Ssebo.
Okusoomoozebwa kwe tulina mu buli kintu kyonna nga kigonjoolwa mateeka kirina okusoomoozebwa okw'amaanyi nti tutuuka ne tubagamba waliwo oli yajja n'abaga etteeka n'agamba nti toyendanga. Naye ng'etteeka lyabaga alibagira abenzi nga tebannakola na bwenzi nga benzi. Oli najja n'ababagira etteeka n'abagamba nti toyendanga. Kagamba buli wawulira amateeka nga gasituddwa waliwo obunyaga bw'emitwe n'emitima obubaawo awo. Kakati bannange awo we wali obuzibu. Abayimbi kale abayimbi katutangire ku bayimbi nga bayimbi baliwo be tubagira amateeka kubanga
abo be muyina Peter
wangi
abo
kubanga ekibizo kale katugambe ebiseera bikyuse naye waliwo omuyimbi wa musumba wange Isaaya bamuyita Basudde ne wabaawo abalala gwe bayita Kafeero ne wabaawo abalala awo be bayita Bassebatta n'abalinga abo. Kakati waliwo nze ate oli mukulu wange bamuyita Lakedube lwawakati yagenda n'anfaako yankola bubi. Yakulira mu kiseera ekyobusosoze obutategeerekeka. N'abalala aba South Africa be mumanyi nga ba Black Box, nga ba Chaka. Talanta yabwe y'okuyimba ne tugifiiringira eno naye nga bali wansi mu kunyigirizibwa okutategeerekeka. Kugamba kyengezaako okugamba amateeka agafuga nga gagenda kufuga ebitone kati ng'ebyokuyimba go gakola gatya? Bano abagaggawadde bano eno katugamba nti omanyi wano buli kaseera buli standard ya success mu nsi eno America. Buli olugira luti ekimu bbiri mu America, kimu bibiri mu America. Kakati kale katukozesa standard eyo. Mu America abaliyo abakulaakulanye mu byokuyimba ebyo bakulaakulanye lwa tteeka lya copyright. Kugamba nyangala okubuuza, waliwo ennyimba ze tuyimba bwe twali eri mu ddiini, nga tukyali eri mu ddiini, walingawo ekitabo eky'abannaddiini ekyalingamu ennyimba ezo, ne twagenda okukizuula ng'ennyimba ezo si za bannaddiini abo. Kakati ebyo byo tubikola bitya nga abantu basinzizza Mukama okuyita mu nnyimba mu nsi yonna, naye nga tewaliiwo tteeka ligamba nti kati oluyimba lukoma wano luno lukoma wali? Nze ndowooza ndowooza Baganda baffe ne bannyinaffe oba tetunnalowooza bulungi. Nze ndowooza nti bw'otandika okuyimba, yimba ng'okyalina ebiwulirizika era ebiwulirwa era ebigulika. Kugamba tukyali wano mu Uganda, bweba Uganda gyeri, wano we tuli engeri gye tufuna mu kuyimba bivvulu. Ndowooza ebyo bye twanditeekedde mu ngeri esingako obulungi. Naye mbu okusala DVD, simanyi okusala VD, simanyi okusala gundi Bluetooth, simanyi okusala memory stick. I don't know. I really doubt. I highly doubt nti. I highly doubt oba kikyategeerekeka ekyo. So mbadde nsaba nze batuyambe, naye ndowooza nze mbadde nkyalemereddwa.
Olemeredde mu definition, Peter. Kato, can you talk?
On a very serious note.
Thank you, moderator. For now, I would prefer to listen.
Agambye ekyomukulu siwulire kyagambye. Ayagala kuwuliriza.
I would prefer to listen. Yeah.
Okay. Peterson. Peter has brought a whole host of other questions. Mine was very simple. About why they would demand 90% airplay. Like, what is the reasoning behind that? Will that make them more money? Will it make them more popular? What will happen?
Okay. What they're demanding is like what would say Bubu. You know that slogan now that everyone has jumped on. Buy Uganda, build Uganda. So, of course, it has a good side on it. You would think that it would actually promote the really if your stations are concentrating on what, if your stations are actually promoting their content. So me on that one, if it's for promoting them, then I would be okay with it. But then the question is, how practical is that? Peter was saying, who are the musicians of Uganda? Apart from a few musicians that we have right now, most of the other guys, it's just junk. These alien skins and what? It's just junk. So how is it going to be sustained? How is it going to be sustained that you wake up the whole day in the morning, from morning to evening, and you're listening to such music? if our musicians could produce music that is worth it, then actually that would not even be demanded. You'd really see that they're only playing Ugandan music. You've been quoting here when we're playing Congolese music and music from South Africa. And right now, I think most of the music is in Nigerian music because they have earned it. They have earned it. They have produced good songs and they have reached there. Then about copyrights, I don't think we have reached there to patent our music and our art because we are still a very, very small industry. And with this social media, I would just think that they would leave it open. These guys are first promoted, so that our music can be first promoted. The reason why Nigerian music is has become so popular, it's one because of social media. Yes, their music is good, but then also social media has played a very big part in their music. So if we can manage to sell our music and our content using social media, because the reason why these guys want to patent is that they think they're not earning enough than what they would be earning. So if we can utilize social media by putting there the rightful content, then these guys earn money, then the patents would come in later. But right now, whatever we're going to patent even has, it's nothing, it's PS that we want to patent. So if we can first improve that, then after we've improved it, now we can think about copyright. Thank you. But maybe on books, yes, on books, yes, we need it. We have a very bad habit of photocopying people's work. For books, I think that they need to do that. But surprisingly, you may find that the law that is coming, because this is being brought by the Edkenzos and Hilderman, it has nothing to do with the books. So the Isaiah should also come with theirs.
It's a chicken and egg situation, Pedson. Should we first get copyright laws in place before we produce the art, or do we get the art and then at some point we'll get the... Anyway, Bob,
Peter,
in an
Peter
age
was
where we
asking
have...
Peter asked, at what point did the US industry start patenting? Is it when it was popular, or they patented when it was still upcoming?
I think it came much later.
Hey,
That's what I think. It came much later.
and for us,
Sometimes
we're in
the
nursery
law
now.
is the result of... Sometimes the law is the result of the growth of the industry, not the other way around. But in an age where we have YouTube, in my case, I like YouTube. I have Spotify. That's where I listen to my music. Why do I need to listen to Ugandan music 90% of the time? Because I've tuned in 2KFM, which is my favorite channel. Bob, can you talk? I just don't get it. Why should I listen to all these guys?
But the in and out, but I can just comment on something. There's something about exposure or listening to something over and over. Even if you didn't like it, you begin to like it. So this is what promoters do. This is what people who understand marketing, business, jukube abantu maso bajirabe. Then you increase sales. You see, when you watch akalango ka over MTN, over Airtel. Not that we don't know about Airtel and MTN, but every time you're watching the news, MTN Nigeria, the way the brain works is funny, but oyinza okutandika okuwa ekintu attention kyotandibwadde attention if someone did not expose you to it. So that's the psychology of if they play these songs 90% of the time they are playing Ugandan song. It just means that people will listen to these songs and they may start to buy in, because it's just the law of marketing. So for me, that's the reason I'm thinking behind that, what can result. Kubanga bobato na alternative we release that the bad which we have. Eventually, we said that in the bad you'll begin to pick the best and then that promotes that kind of artist or that kind of music. So for me, that's the reason behind. It's not that I mean, it's like in the end, they just want abantu bagale music wabwe. But if you are bwoba tomuwuliriza tojja kumwagala. There are, by the way, very good nice music out there, naye it is overshadowed by this other music which is being played. Nze waliwo ennyimba zengenda nempulisa ngamba Munauganda yayimba oluyimba olwo, you know, like ng'oluguddeko somewhere. So for me, I think that is the reason behind it. I don't know how practical it can be. You remember ne bakamiliyoni abo ne ba Bobby Wine previously nga bwagenda mu club sebo aba asasula ne DJ bazanye oluyimba lwe. These are the times when they were just upcoming nga osobola osasula DJ bakuba oluyimba lwe because you want people to listen to your product. Yeah. Simanyi oba nkuzeemu.
Nkuzeemu. Nti oluusi music tuyinza obutamumanya nti lwamu tukuba mu maaso tujja musiima to grow on us. Naye nze mbadde ngamba nti ennyimba ennungi oba ezinyumira abantu always they find their way to the mass media, to the mass market. Case in point ez'aba Nigeria currently n'eza Uganda wano ennaku zino waliwo oluyimba lweta Simanyi Masavu. Nze sigoberera music wa Uganda naye somehow that song found me. Simanyi Masavu.
Oyo Azawi just aina good promoters. She's not the best musician. Naye Fans Avenue, buli artist gwekwatako somehow finds their way through because they are good. They know how to market. They know how to make nice videos. They basically bakwata marketing, bategera marketing. Bitadde bala mu kugundi on top of things because he understands what he needs to do to bring his business to you. In which way? So but the promoters are really good. But there are very nice young artists out there. So
No, naye Bob musically democratic kati. Young artist gogamba asogena ateko limba lyo ku YouTube. Tetagana promote kikoni. Oba ku Spotify. Oba ku Apple Music. So limba lyo aso do distributing even without these monopolies of these guys. Okay, Isaiah. Oyagala kuliza mamitani n'omusajja. Alien skin 90% of the time. Alien skin is mine n'abalabani.
Ekisooka
Gawe baagala.
Ekisooka bassebo ne bannyabo nzikiriziganya nammwe mugamba nti abayimbi mu Uganda tulina batono. N'olwekyo ennyimba zaffe musically si nnungi, lyrically si nnungi, audio ne visual nazo si nnungi. Ekyo nzikiriziganya nammwe. Naye Uganda teri short of talent. Uganda ekola mu music nga bw'ekola mu mupiira. Ekizibu kye tulina mu music era kye tulina ne mu mupiira wano mu Uganda. Ekizibu kya Uganda si talent tulina. Kye tutalina abala kye batusinga ye organization n'okukola structures talent ezo mwe zisobola okuwugira n'okuzannya. Kakati nze nzikiriziganya na copyright era nzikiriziganya n'okuzannya content waffe nga tumuzannya nnyo okusinga content w'abalala. Lwaki? Akatale kaffe bwe tunaakaleka ne tukagulirawo abali organized, akaffe tekalibeerawo. Ne talenti zaffe zijja kubeera frustrated. Era ojja kusanga ng'ekiri mu mupiira kye kitandise okubeera mu music. Kubanga buli muntu agala okusamba omupiira mu Uganda anoonya visa, agenda anoonya ensi mw'anaagusambira. Kakati nze ndowooza bwe tweggaliramu ne tukozesa akatale kaffe nga kakola ku talenti zaffe, ekyo kijja kuyamba. n'olwekyo ekyo chairman nze nzikirizigana nakyo tweggalire kulye music waffe kakati alien skin ne Nigeria waliyo ba alien skin naye ba alien skin be Nigeria bo balina structures mwe batambulira kati mwe ekizibu kyamu wano alien skin abatazze kuyimba bya alien skin abazze kutawaanya Kyagulanyi mu politics kyekizibu kya wano moderator naye singa alien skin ajja n'ayimba ebintu byo bya alien skin eyo audience nayo bweri kubanga ku buli bantu 10 boolaba kuliko abategeera 2 8 ba alien skin nabo beetaaga okuyimbirwa kakati ate waliyo ne audience eyaffe nga ffe tetuwuliza music naye tuwuliza ne lyrics kati ffe tuli batono naye ba alien skin okwepiikya n'enkudi abo bangi kakati akakatale temuyinza ate kaggulira alien skin we Nigeria ajje wano basebo ne bannyabo mwe mulabeka temuli bakadde nga nze naye waaliwo ekiseera wano ng'omukongo yawamba Uganda lingala ng'alinga lingala babasudde basooka ne bateekawo omulembe gwabwe ne basebadduka ne basebatta ne baani abasajja abakadde abo ne basooka omukongo n'ajja n'ayingira Uganda ne lingala abantu abatujjako abakongo abo baali bavubuka bano babebekulu bakamiliyoni be baanafuya ku mukongo naye omukongo yali afuuse omukongo wano ne lingalawo kakati omunigeria era afuuse omunigeria wano ndowooza nti kikikola kakati bwe kiba nga temunnatuuka ku copyright nga bwe mugamba bwe mutujereze musobola ate okuba nga n'oweemu akoomera abaganda bye bagamba musobola okukopyrightinga akamu ke mulina kubanga ekizibu kye tulina mu Uganda moderator nga mpunzika nti n'ennyimba z'omuyimbi alina ennyimba 100 ku nnyimba ze 100 z'alina kuliko ennyimba z'ayozezzaamu nga 40 kubanga baproducer tewali kubanga industry teyambiddwa gavumenti eyagala okuleeta copyright yennyini yeyingira mu bayimbi nebatabulatabula byebyo naye n'oweemu akoomera anza moderator.
Thank you. Launcher.
Papa, mutumba akesezza naye ekituufu nti ekintu ensonga eyo gyayogedde nti owuliriza omuyimbi y'omu n'osoberwa kubanga tewali creativity mu ddi tewali creativity mu kukyusa nti like nga bwemba mpuliriza omuyimbi ono mpulira nga I am nourished in all ways nti ne bw'abeera ali mu kuyimba nnyimba za mukwano nti teyeddingana especially nti teddingana nnyo ogenda okuwulira nga ice cream ate afaanana n'olimba olwala oluzeeko ne bikusobera nkubuulire kati nze mu office mwenkolera bagenda oluusi bagenda ne bateekako music batusubira ennyimba z'abanigeria n'owulira nga kati baakisa ne bateerako ennyimba z'abanauganda naffe ffennyini ne tuwulira nga tugamba nga tuli board nga tukooye nga kwegamba like ne instrumentals ogenda okuwulira nga music akutabudde nga bwe tubeera nti no bwe tuba tuwuliriza ez'abanigeria tuwuliriza ennyimba eza 2024 ng'ezaffe tuba tuli mu 2013 instrumentals ng'ate bw'owuliriza Shiba beat instrumentals z'akozesezza ze zimu n'eza Alien Skin, ze zimu n'eza Kenzo, ze zimu n'eza Rema, togamba ng'osoberwa nga tewaliwo tokyagamba nti this is Kenzo, this is togamba. There is no creativity. I really think we are not ready for patenting. Kubanga succession of common music, we don't even know about music genres. Naffe ng'abantu abawuliriza, naffe palette zaffe ez'okuwuliriza music teziri directed. Kubanga like kyendabye kuba like from my observation from kuba by Europeans, they direct you on what to enjoy in music, on what kugaba bakunnyonnyola, this is what you should enjoy, this is how you should dance on it, this is how you should listen to it. Kugamba ogenda okuwuliriza oluyimba nga you're prepared, omanyi bw'olina okunyumirwa, omanyi kugamba audience tetuteekeddwa ne music tetumutegeera. Kugamba we are just binging. We are just binging. Music affe alinga talina direction. We are just making money. Sometime back I saw it again, another auntie abayimbi baffe bakozi ba ssente si bayimbi. They are not musicians. They are not even singers. They are neither singers, they are neither musicians. They are just singing through music. We are lacking so much. I don't think we have yet reached that level of patenting.
Thank you, Nancha. Pango ziliti utusanze tuogera copyright.
Sebo moderator mbalamusizza.
Ito.
Zereti nnyo ebyamakulu bigenze.
Leti waliwo nade nkwagalira. Naye kale tuddeyoko katono for your stake. Wali twade tugamba nti opposition temulina kye mutukoledde kitukomezaawo Besigye. Uganda bali tulina opposition kumala myaka 3.
Bane munansonyiwa aba topic abaji discussing zejja Sunday agatte kubazaayo mabega, but just briefly tewali muntu agenda ku appreciating naddala mu abasajja ba Museveni temugenda ku appreciating opposition niwe kinatwala ani oba ani. Besigye bwe yaliwo nga mumuvuma bwera mumwogerera bino nabiri simanyi mmolo simanya yenga business ze zitambula gabi kibi kugamba there is always something kyemwogera ku muntu abavuganya. Kakati bwe yavaawo kakati ate Besigye yali mulungi nnyo akomyewo kati mumuwaana sooner or later era naye mujja tandika mumufiirako kugamba until we appreciate efforts z'abantu. Kyebula ati Bobi Wine Juice yagera n'ayimba akayimba ka Chameleon ng'abaga basiima ogenza. Besigye bwe yaliwo most of you mwamwogereranga amafuuko. Mwamwogerera atandise moderator musajja wa atandise.
Wefuge Mutabazi.
Yasiiwuuka empisa. Anyway, mwamwogereranga amafuukula abo bamutabazi. Besigye Molo simanyi yagula ekizimbe gundi mukwano biki simanyi petrol stations ezikola simanyi akolera Museveni n'abaviira. Bw'abaviira kyate kakati opposition kuba Besigye bwe yavaawo ate kakati biki kakati akomyewo mumuwaana era mwagala kumuwaaniriza atandika okukola ebintu era mujje mumukole ki mumufiireko. Katono nnyo kenja okwogera ku topic eyo moderator abasinga mwabyogese jjajja Sabbath-day saagala kubamalira budde. Ku kiriwo kati music industry patent simanyi biki ebyo namumala budde. Nga bw'olaba Museveni bw'ateeka ssente mu bapolitician simanyi kugenda ku benchmarkinga Norway kugenda ku benchmarkinga America bakole ebiteekateeka byagenda okujjaanya omwole singa ayagala okutereza music industry singa agenda n'abuuza Nigeria mu music industry okubanga ewambye mu Africa Burna Boy n'agenda n'akuba ebisaawe mu America mu Canada n'abikuba back to back byonna ng'abijjuza Burna Boy n'agenda n'ajjuza era mukikola mutya ekyo aba asobola okukikola. I strongly believe naye ye ayagala mwe buno bwali eskin obwavu obusajja obwavu obukute mu kyalo kambawe obusente sente otandika okuvuga agamotoka agalinga ebivugirwamu embizzi Kampala streets nga oli untouchable nkuwe some sort of power otandika okunvumira besaagala before you know it nga nako katandisa okubikola ng'oli adda eri akanyuka okyegera kakati enkeera nga gyakwata ssente ng'asiteekambo mu association eyo atamwagala tebamwagalayo gwe keera ku makya ogambe nti Museveni obi tojja kugyewadde ekikumi mu association nange ezo ssente mu association oteekayo zaaki problemu y'abayimbi si nti tebalina ssente mu ssako yaabwe they want a better structure, a better working structure. Can you say ngenda kubazimbira maybe centers across towns and cities where new talent is developed? Can you say ngenda kuzimba ngenda kukola studios nga zaffe za government buli omu agende ya practicing talent ye ono politics wa kamwa mukono kamwa mwagala nnyo kubanga byo bye mwamanyira okunafuya abantu otegeera mwagala okuwa abantu obumeremere handout mubeerawo mubamanyire mubanafuye because that's how you want to rule people. So buli omu ekintu kino bwe munaalekerawo kitunuulira in terms of nfunira wa tewali kye mujjako kyobula tulina ebintu e Uganda tulina structures tulina infrastructures ziringa biki bintu abantu yakola ekintu ng'enkyagenda kubanga tulina eyo mentality nze nfunira wa mbazimbira ekkuba eddungi nfunira wa bakolera amasomero amalungi nfunira wa before you know it nga batandisa okukola ebyabo akantu kino ekirungi kye nasangawo nze nzimba ekyange ekirungi as an alternative. So I think nga muganda wange Daudi Mpanga bwe yagamba nti tetusobola kuwulira bannaffe be bafiiringa okujja nga tudevelopinze gye yayita central nervous system erumirirwa gye tutayina bano ffe we tubayita abagwira tuli batuufu kubanga otunulira abantu abaaliwo before them be bayita bannational ebintu bye baakola nakati tetutambulirako bano abagwira bapastoralists yamanyi wano ngenda kuliisaawo akadde akaliwo enkya ngindi ewalala tebafaayo okukola bintu bye tunaafunamu n'abazzukulu bye banaafunamu moderator kankomaawo neyanza tteko
twenza Mpanga
kale weewuunye tubadde copyright naye omusajja agenze mu mawanga n'agenda mu balunzi
agambye ensonga entuufu Besigye waliwo mwali mu muvuma ekyo okiddamu otya mu dayiika emu babiri
ekyali kitufumya Besigye twali tumutya kyekyali kitufumya Besigye kyova olaba ffe Bobi Wine tumuvumyeko kigambo n'eki twogera bwogezi byakola naye ffe Besigye twali tumutya era nakakati kakomyewo era tweteeseteese okulwanagana naye anti Besigye waakulwana naye Besigye waakulwana naye Kyagulanyi odda ku social media ne bakuwa ekivumo kyo genda waakalya nnyoko n'otuula mu ntebe yo n'ofuga sebo kyekyo kyali kitufumya Besigye kubanga ye waakulwanagana naye ono yo olindira ku social media ne bakuliisa nnyoko
papa
dayiika emu nanca
actually ensonga eri gye tulina mu music y'ensonga y'emu neera gye tulina mu opposition. We lack nurturing. We lack nurturing. We don't nurture. But Besigye did not nurture anyone to replace him, probably. Kugamba, we lack nurturing. Tukola ebintu byaffe okyekolera gaweka tolina bw'okitudde nurturing ekubulamu ey'amaanyi ennyo simanyi oba bidi etunaagijjawo naye twetaagayo bidi ey'okusobola okunurturinga omuntu togamba omulala n'oyiga ebintu in a proper way No, we can train a proper, I don't know, disciples. We need to have people who make disciples. We don't make disciples.
Okay, thank you, Nacha. That one cuts across many sectors.
Yeah, we are not quality people. We really lack quality. We are very insufficient. I've seen these people are qualitative. They are qualitative in the way they do their things, the way they work, we are lacking so much. How I wish ndoza tevola anekatela yatuka student wangonka tugende mawanga batukinye tusobole okubaako bye tuyiga tukomewenga
era kyembuuza opposition teri nachat.
Yes.
Opposition teri nachat naye abatufuga bo bali nachat batuukiridde.
Ndowooza kati olaba n'abakyala abalumba ye talina gw'atalumba.
Isaiah kambuuze kwembuuza talina
Moderator nze kaŋŋende nze gonna kambe wano nti nze atalina mpisa.
For instance, it will be very hard for us to get someone that is as good as Museveni. No, listen.
Twina standby generator.
Listen, regardless of the fact that he has caused a abikoze ng'olabye ddala nti muntu ategeera ali consistent era akola ekintu ky'ategeera era ng'akikola qualitatively. Where will we get someone who is as qualitative as him that easily? He has been what he's doing. So if we could get people who are as qualitative as him, that's the local better. Olizako kusikia ya President Museveni ng'ali mu kutunnyonnyola ku nsonga z'ebyensimbi. Bali mu kumugamba nti abantu ensi ogyavuwazza biki. President Museveni yannyonnyola ekintu ky'ensimbi n'agamba you people abantu baffe baakajjajja juzi okutandika okuyiga okukola nga tebali mu kukola just ya mmere yayo ne batandika okufunamu grid egamba katukole nga tukola just to amass wealth. He is a man who truly understands how the population is growing. He can articulate those matters in all rounds. Let us do our homework. The man did his homework. That is why he is still there. We have not done our homework and we think that we can just come and take him. That is antinagamba sitayagala kwogera bigambo binene kati ngezaako kunoonya ekigambo ekirungi okwogera kimuze. We need to learn to do our homework and be quality people, and then we come to oppose when we are quality. Otherwise, everything. That's why we will not get away until we become qualitative.
No, we can't, because yesterday the opposition presented an alternative budget and everything, but they are not the ones in leadership. Whichever quality you bring, as long as you don't hold power, it will not see the light of day. Or abantu they are hungry to stay in power at whatever cost. So, behavior.
When we become we shall
tujja kuddamu ku Monday oba politics ku Thursday busule bulungi.
Thank you, Papa, for the good leadership.